Listen, saints, there is one thing that needs to get through to you. You can only rescue someone once a while from bad situations. Let's say someone is in a building and the building's on fire and they're not aware of it. Then you call the fire department, and the fire department will send firefighters that will rescue the individual by pulling the individual out of the burning building. You can do that. Or if someone is about to meet with a friend, but you know that this friend has a setup where they're about to stab this individual, you can call the cops. Or if you don't want to involve the cops, you can tell to the individual, listen, I don't have a good feeling about you meeting those people because got the receipts over here, they're planning to set you up. So you can rescue someone from a bad situation once in a while. But you can't continuously continue to rescue someone from bad situations. That's unsustainable. That's exhausting. That's tiresome. And here's the thing. The individual himself or herself, I'm using the masculine pronoun here, so the individual himself should want to be saved. Saved doesn't just refer to your name is written in the book of life, you're born again, and when Christ returns, you'll be on the new earth. Because there's no such thing as going to heaven, we know that. But I'm not talking about spiritual salvation, which Christ offers. Salvation also implies, besides being written in the book of life of the Lamb, it also implies being delivered from danger in the here and now. Because once you become born again as a believer, now you ought to be renewed in your mind, and then you cross the Red Sea, you cross the Jordan. Those are symbolic phases, and after crossing the Jordan, you operate in potential. And when you operate in potential, danger flees from you, and you operate in safety. Okay? That is the plan. However, before you cross the Jordan, Satan will do whatever he can to kill you off. Really. Some believers are killed in that phase because they were too involved in dark situations. Now look, you should want to be saved. You should want to be safe. You should want to be healthy. You should want to be sane. You should want to be better off. You should want all of those things. Some people just don't want to face the fact they are in a toxic situation. Some people don't want to admit that they're operating in a self-destructive way. Some people don't want to admit that they have self-sabotage issues. Some people don't want to admit the facts of a situation, because once you admit the facts, now you have the responsibility to look for a solution and to participate in a solution. And participate in a solution will require you to do things you don't want to do. Maybe someone is addicted to smoking, or addicted to crack, or addicted to heroin, whatever. Or maybe they're just addicted to drinking, or drinking a lot, or they're addicted to video games, whatever it is. They have this relief mechanism that works for them. But this relief mechanism keeps them trapped, and it hinders them in their daily life. And some of those relief mechanisms are even dangerous. Think about drug addictions. So the individual can be arrested, they can be put in a rehab program, but eventually the individual needs to participate with their own recovery. They have to participate in their own recovery for them to recover. They have to admit that they have an issue that's escalating. They need to admit they have an issue that needs to be addressed, and then you take the responsibility by addressing the issue and looking for solutions. That's how it goes. Or else you have to keep on rescuing people over and over again. And here's the thing, some people don't even want to be rescued. Some people put themselves willfully in bad situations so they can get sympathy when things go wrong. Those are sympathy addicts. It may sound very insane that people will do things like this, but you have people like that. They willfully put themselves in harm's way just so that when things go bad, they can play the victim, because by playing the victim, they get sympathy, and the sympathy is like a drug to them. Now, such people don't even want to be rescued. Listen, even bad people will not look for solutions, will appreciate when you rescue them. But there are people who don't even want to be rescued, so listen. You can pray for someone, you can minister to someone at a distance. You can reach out or call for help from the individual when required. That is intervention. But it doesn't matter how much you intervene, eventually they need to admit this needs to change. I need to change. I need to become better. I need to become safer. I need to become a better human being. That is what they should want. If people don't want to be saved, then what ends up happening is that they will end up draining others to escape the pollution that they bring forth. So listen, when someone is not willing to be saved, withdraw your investment. You can still intervene from time to time to keep them alive. You can do that. Nobody will blame you for it. But do not remain involved with them because they are dedicated to be self-destructive. Because being self-destructive gives them attention. Being self-destructive gives them a leverage over others. Being self-destructive gives them an excuse not to be empathic nor involved in the community. Some people don't want to recover. They don't want to become better because they see some advantage. They can exploit others in their sickness or in their bad situation. There are homeless people who remain homeless for years, not because they couldn't get help. Help was available. They were able to get out of the streets years ago, but the reason they're still homeless is because by being homeless, they can now get benefits from the government without having to work, for example. Or they are able to sleep on people's couches here and there without having to think about paying rent or without having to pay taxes or whatever. So it sounds very dumb, I know, but there are even homeless people out there who are not really interested in help. They just want to feed off the sympathy and support of others without actually having to reciprocate anything into the economy. You have violent people out there who talk about going into therapy, but they never actually want to give up their violence because by being violent, they don't have to communicate. Violent people are people who don't want to communicate. They don't want to admit their vulnerability and relate to you as a fellow vulnerable being. No, they want to compensate their vulnerability with external force. And they want to use this force at your expense, which is violence, to get what they want. So they only are interested in aggression, not in actual communication. So people that don't want to give up their violence, they will fake as if they're recovering, but they just want to recruit victims so they can victimize to be at ease. They will fake it though, but when you look at the long-term behavior of theirs, you can see that they're just lying to you. And here's another thing. Even if someone is not a bad individual, even if you have someone with a good heart, even they, no matter how naive they are, there comes a point that even they're going to think, oh, what is this? Even naive people who seldom see bad stuff will realize, oh, this is made off. And once you sense something is off, you should want answers. Some people, when they sense that something is off, they just don't want to talk about it, they just want to repress it, they just want to look away. People should want to have answers. People should want to process the past. People should want to have solutions. People should want to be better. People should want to be safe. If they are not interested in being safe, they're not interested in being saved, they're not interested in being healthy, they're not interested in recovery, they're not interested in becoming better people, they're not interested in solutions, I'm telling you, do not kidnap them from their own misery. They persist in misery, and when you keep on rescuing them, you're kidnapping them from their misery. And they will blame you for rescuing them. They should be rescued, but they will blame you for rescuing them. Why? Because according to them, everything was fine, even though reality shows it's not fine. Now look, there are times you need to intervene, okay? For example, if someone persists in a toxic sexual relationship, but there are also children involved because not because the children are in a sexual relationship, but because the husband and the wife, or the boyfriend and girlfriend, they have children together, or there are stepchildren and the children are harmed by the relationship. In that case, even though those two adults are self-destructive and they're determined to remain that way, you have children involved, and the children don't choose for the toxic relationship, so the children must be rescued. So there are times you need to intervene. Okay, we get that. But once someone is an adult and they have options for better, they should rejoice in the fact that they have options for better. Okay? They should. If someone does not want to rejoice in the fact that as an adult you have options, then something's wrong with them. Because little children, hey, if you have a little baby, you come with a bottle, the baby just goes to the bottle directly. The baby just wants the bottle. The baby begins to drink. Eventually you have to stop, you remove the bottle because the baby will drink too much. Children, you put some toys over there for them, they know what to do. Or if children see a kitchen, they want to cook, but you have to tell them, hold on. It's dangerous for you to touch the stove, don't do that. So children want so much responsibility that they can't handle. That's why they need adults to guide them. That's children. Well, you should expect that once someone grows out of childhood and enter adulthood, that they also want responsibility, but now they're more guided in how to handle responsibility. Well, reality shows you that that's not the case. Most people out there just want to flee and they want to escalate. They don't actually want to face the challenges in life. They want a bailout. And eventually, they will excuse themselves for bailing themselves out at other people's expense. Okay? So it's not childish, just negative behavior. So if someone is not willing to be saved, then don't invest in getting them saved. Save yourself from unnecessary trouble by withdrawing your investment. Save yourself from unnecessary violence and unnecessary headache by removing yourself from the situation. That's the only thing you can do left. That doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you're selfish, you're narcissistic. It means you're realistic. Christ even said to shake dust off your feet when people persist in darkness. So, obey Christ. Be at peace.